haven't, I still haven't like purchased any of my wedding pictures yet. Like I've downloaded all of them, but I haven't like purchased because I really want to get the book. I want to get like the booklet. I want to get like a couple framed photos.
Okay.
And yeah, and like a couple other things, but I swear I'm gonna do it one of these days. I'm gonna like sit down and go through. There's so many photos.
It's gonna be like 5 years later before you have a wedding album.
I know, right? But I'm like, okay, well, as long as they're up there, as long as I have them downloaded, I just love the photos. They're so good. And
by the way, you have to tell people why you're telling me this.
Yeah. Of course.
Because I photographed your wedding.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah. Okay.
They don't know that. Though.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say that. But yes, Samantha has photographed my wedding, so that actually kind of leads me in. Hi, welcome back. And if you're new, this is Life and Art with Nicole, and I'm your host, Nicole. This is a weekly podcast where we discuss different lifestyle topics such as books, acting, film, television, music, art, health, wellness. And I'm so excited because today I have my friend, Samantha Everette, here with me. Samantha is a photographer, world-class photographer. And yeah, we're just going to have a really cool episode where we just chat about photography and life. And Samantha and I've known each other for a very long time. So we'll probably talk a little bit about that. But when we come back in just a minute, we'll get going. So stay tuned. So you said you're taking a break from photography this summer?
Taking a break from life.
Really?
Period.
Like what prompted that?
Burnout is real.
Yeah.
It's so real.
Mm-hmm. Like she just had like so many clients.
Just everything. I was doing so many different types of photography and then just doing a lot all at once and then personal stuff on top of that. It's just like going to support all my friends, going to all their shows, their exhibits, and then like when the world opened back up, I was like, okay, hustling when everything is shut down, it's like, okay, you're focused on this one thing and that's all you give your energy to. But then when you are focused on that and then now you have 11 trillion other things to do for fun and all that, and then you're getting older and you're tired.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. No, I feel you. I took a break, like, what is it? Between, like, pretty much last summer when I was planning my wedding. I just was like, I need time, you know? Mm-hmm. And I'm just now kind of getting back into things and filling my schedule up and stuff like that. But I mean, it's hard, especially when, you know, you have your own business, because you have your own business.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to pretty much do everything on your own. I mean, you have a couple assistants, right?
I have help and it's like dire and I need help. Like I had to clear this whole room out last week and that took 2 hours. And it would have been 3 or 4 hours by myself. And there's certain things I can't lift by myself. And so I have help when I absolutely need it. But for the most part, it's just me. And that's the other exhausting part. And people are like, why don't you get somebody to do this and do that? And I'm like, who? Who's supposed to do it? It's like magical person that can just do it for no money.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, no, that person's me.
Yeah, no, I feel you because like because I took a break from my jewelry business or my jewelry company or designing jewelry for like years now. It's been like a couple years since I even put out a collection because having to do, you know, all the marketing, making the pieces and then doing all the photography myself and then finding the models and you know, luckily, like I could find someone that could do the makeup real quick, but and then doing all the editing, which you obviously know about, but doing all the editing, you know, and then putting all the pieces on the website, doing all the SEO, like it's hard.
Yeah, and then shipping it all and tracking and payments and taxes. And all the things that people don't tell you, and they're like, you should have your own business.
Right. Right. Totally.
It is great. It does. I haven't had a 9-to-5 in 5 years, and I don't think I could go back. But it is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, it takes like a super creative person, but then also a super driven person and a person who is knowledgeable in business. And it's like, who
has all those things?
Right.
Very few of us.
So I feel you. I understand like the burnout. I understand like having to take a break.
Yeah. Also, it's fun. It's summertime.
Right.
Like I want to be at the pool. I want to see my friends.
Yeah.
lay in the bed until 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Which I actually don't do because I have a garden, so
Yeah. Okay,
I'm outside every day.
That's what I also wanted to talk to you about. Gardening, because we had connected on that like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And
I finally have tomatoes.
Yay!
I have a table full of tomatoes, which you know how hard that is.
Yeah.
Especially in North Carolina in this 100-degree weather.
Yeah. Which varieties are you growing, do you know?
So I don't actually know because I thought that I bought a 6 cell of not sugar babies. What are the yellow cherry tomatoes?
Okay, yeah. I haven't grown those. Sun Gold, okay.
I thought I bought Sun Golds. They are not Sun Golds. They are Roma tomatoes. I don't like Roma tomatoes. I thought I didn't like Roma tomatoes because the tomatoes that you get in the grocery store are garbage.
Yeah.
This is the best Roma tomato I've ever had in my life. It's so good. I'm going to save the seeds because I don't know what it is because once I realized that it was a Roma and not a cherry. I threw it away because it had the cherry tomato label on it. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, I know what this is. It's a Sun Gold. I don't need to keep this label. It's the only thing I'm growing. And then turns out it's not a Sun Gold. They're Romas.
Wow.
So I have no clue what they are.
Yeah. So they're kind of oval, like but then they're yellow.
No, they're not. They're
red. They're red.
Yeah, they're just completely mislabeled.
Wow.
And I called the greenhouse. I was like, yeah, so I bought Sun Golds from you that are not Sun Gold. And they're like, yeah, we had a problem with that. You've had a problem with that.
You're like, well, thanks for telling me now. But yeah, I mean,
tomatoes are tomatoes.
It is.
As long as it is disease resistant and will actually produce in your climate.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, there's maybe tiny slight differences in taste because I didn't actually grow a lot of tomatoes this year.
Really?
Last year I grew really big, huge, literally I had 5 different plants for the large, 3 different varieties of the large tomatoes. And then I also was growing a Cherokee purple tomatoes. Mm-hmm. And then I also had 5 different varieties of the cherry tomatoes, including the Romas. And so, but this year I started all my seeds, and then I was just I don't feel like taking care of all this. I really honestly don't. So I just started giving the little baby plants away. I was like, here, you take 2 and you take 2.
You get a tomato.
You get a tomato. You get a tomato. Right, exactly. And
oh my God. Okay, so I have to tell you this.
Okay.
You'll appreciate this. Or maybe you will, maybe you won't. I don't know. I hope my neighbors never see this, but I have new neighbors. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to give them a plant because I separated. I don't know those plants that are it's like a saucer leaf. The leaf is round and they just shoot out and it just has all these flat, round leaves on it.
Huh. I don't know.
Don't remember the name of it, but there's only one plant like that. So you can Google it and put the little title, whatever. But yeah, so I got one that had a bunch of little babies all in it. Babies finally grew up. I separated them out, repotted them. And then I was like, okay, this one's established. It's been separated out for a couple of weeks. I'm going to give it to my neighbor. Told them, put it outside. It likes lots of sun. I did not tell them that it likes lots of water.
Oh, gosh.
So every time I walk past their patio, I'm just like,
oh, and it's all shriveled up. The poor plant. Oh my goodness.
And I told them later, hey, you're going to kill that plant. When it starts to go, give it some water.
You'd be surprised how many people don't realize that they need to water their plants. It's weird.
It's 100 degrees outside.
I know.
And the pot is this big. The water's gone in a day.
Totally.
You have to water it every single day.
Yeah.
They think it's an indoor plant that does it like a pathos, or it's oh yeah, you water it every 2 weeks and it doesn't care if it lives or dies. No.
Yeah. You definitely have to water your plants.
To plant parenthood.
Yeah, it definitely.
I should have given them a snake plant.
Which is easy to take care of, right? But yeah, I mean, that's how it is. I was out there in my garden earlier today and everything was dried up and I was like, shit. I get my hose and I'm just in there, watering everything. Yeah. And I'm just out there watering. But this summer has been really hot.
Well, now the spring was good.
Yeah.
So spring for tomatoes. If you had kept your tomatoes, you'd have a shitload of tomatoes right now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, once July hit, it was all shit.
And also it rained a lot. Did you notice that?
Yeah, so it was good and bad. Cucumbers tastes great, but all the leaves are mildewed.
Yeah, all my leaves are yellow. All my cucumber leaves are from my old cucumber plant, because I started 3 new ones. Because I was like, what's happening here? And I just was like realizing that it was just too much water. And a lot of my plants, like I got 1 zucchini this year, and all the others.
I've gotten 1 zucchini.
That's it. And it's just disappointing, but I mean, it is what it is. Everything changes every year. But and I remember, I just have to thank you. Last year, you told me to go to, I don't know, some farmer's market or something like that to pick up seeds.
Oh yeah.
And I got like seeds,
trash bag full of
literally seeds. Trash bag full of seeds. And I feel like I have seeds now for like the next 5 years, like straight up.
I have seeds for a zombie apocalypse. That's how many seeds
same. I mean, I am ready.
I still buy more because variety.
Right. And I mean, I've got my whole like prepping station going too. I'm like, let me just make sure I have every single seed of every single thing that I could possibly need.
I can't start. Like, I have seeds I can start in ground, but I cannot start in like greenhouse situation. It just, those plants just don't ever make it. I don't know what it is. If I put it right in the ground in water, it's fine. But if I put it and try and transplant it, it's like, no.
Yeah.
Which I want to do. I want some more cucumbers, but it's too late to put it. I can try and direct sow them.
Yeah, you could probably do that. I think cucumbers and squashes you can put seeds in still.
Yeah, I just put some squash. My new sunflowers are about this tall.
Oh, nice.
Nice. The deer found them yesterday.
Oh no. Deer eat sunflower?
Deer, yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize the deer got the sunflowers too.
Yeah, they ate the sunflowers, and they ate only had 3 beans germinate out of like 15 that I put in the ground. So those seeds are no good, but they ate the one plant that was growing. So it's like, okay, no more string beans, I guess.
I just discovered that rabbits have been eating my string beans. I put stories on it actually on Instagram.
Yeah,
I literally
you don't have a fence.
Because people, you know how like my back deck, it's just like back deck.
They're bold now.
Yeah, they just come in, and before they would just kind of stay in the grass and chew their grass and kind of stare at the green beans, but now they're like, shoot, let me just go up in there. And so they've literally eaten, I have 3 whole pots of string beans, and they just gobbled them all up. And I caught him red-handed. I did a video of him. He's just out there just like eating it. I'm like, you. It's so funny. My husband calls me Elmer Fudd because I always am like chasing out like the squirrels and the rabbits. And I see them and I like rush outside. I'm like, get off my plants. It's so funny.
Yeah, you're going to have to put little rabbit cages around them.
Yeah, I realize that next year. Yeah. Hopefully next year we'll move, so I don't have to worry about that. But
I've always wanted to live in your neighborhood.
Really?
Really. I almost bought a house. We were almost neighbors before I bought my condo. I was looking at it, and then it came on the market like a year ago, but then it was gone right away. So it wasn't enough time for me to like think, well, do I really want to move? I don't want to move right now.
Yeah. It's a cool neighborhood. It's like, everyone's real chill. It has that beachy kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like everyone, like in the summertime, all the old ladies like ride by on their bikes to go to the pool. It's like really kind of like, okay. But yeah, you and I have known each other for, my goodness, what, like 20, how many years? I don't even want to say it out loud. 25 years or something. 24 years.
Yeah.
Or something like, yeah, because
we met when we met in kindergarten.
There you go. Yeah. I've known you since kindergarten. Totally. But like what, freshman year in high school? Jeez, that's
no 8th grade. Did you come in 8th grade?
No, I came freshman year in high school.
Oh, okay. Then 24 years.
Yeah, it's crazy because I just had.
Are you going to the reunion?
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say I just had brunch or lunch or whatever with a couple people that we went to high school with, and they were like, yeah, we were all talking about like whether we were going to go to the reunion. And I was like, I don't know. Like, because I think I went to the 10 year or the 5 year or something like that. But I might, I probably will. If everyone else goes, I'll go.
It'll be like, won't it be like 10, 20, 30, like all together? Don't they lump us together?
I think so. Yeah. It's going to be a big group. Yeah. Cause it was a small high school, so anyway, so I was having lunch and I remember this, like, it was Mary. But Mary had said, she's like, yeah, she always was such an artist. And I always remember her walking around campus with like her art books and stuff like that. And and it made me think it made me think back, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, Samantha totally was doing that in high school.
I was a total art nerd.
Yeah, like for real.
I was a band nerd and I was everything except a drama nerd.
That's funny. I was a drama nerd, but I wasn't like
you were not a drama nerd.
That's true because there was the people in the drama whatever department, and they were like the wall people. Remember we called them like the wall people, and they just hung out on that wall by the drama school, like on the drama building or whatever.
I was one of the. Oh, I was not one of those walls.
They were a different kind of high school classmate, but
coming from the cool girl.
But I was cool with everybody. I mean, I feel like I was friendly with everybody. And because I was in all of the plays and the musicals and stuff like that, I knew them. But it was like, oh yeah, they kind of hang out by the wall. So they were just like the wall people. I
think I was like the locker people.
Yeah, I think you were. And because you hung out with Abby a lot, right?
Abby and Will.
Yeah.
And Brian and Sarah.
Yeah.
And you know all the last names that I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I wish Will H, if he ever like sees this, I would love to reconnect with him. Like that was my buddy.
Yeah.
Remember that rap we did for?
No.
Oh God, you're probably ditching.
I probably was because I was like very rarely on. Especially if it was senior year, junior year, senior year, I probably was like not around.
I think it was like sophomore or junior year. I don't think I would have done it my senior year.
Was it an assembly?
It was it was a talent show, and we made our own beat.
Oh my goodness!
And our own lyrics and rapped it. If somebody has that video, please burn it.
Oh, please, not like send it to you, but burn it.
No, burn it. Please burn it. Me and long hair Will with his Jinkos.
Wow.
Yeah. Things haven't changed that much though. Like I still that's still my people's.
I mean,
I
feel like there were like little cliques because, you know, you had all the athlete guys. Mm-hmm. It wasn't really like the jocks and the nerds. Like it wasn't really like that in our school. I mean, we had our little
popular girl.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I just remember all the guys hung out on the fields. Remember they would just
because I wasn't popular. I don't know where any of those
I
guys
wasn't there. Those were all the guys where I was usually off campus. Like,
yeah, you were. We won't say what we were doing. You were doing because your mother will probably listen to this.
But I mean, I would just like Rebecca and I would just be like, all right, we're gonna go to Bojangles. Like we'll be back for the next because we didn't have class.
How sad was it though that they tore down the mall right before we got?
I know. Like what in the world?
Shout out to South Square.
But do you remember we went on a field trip to South Square? Yeah, we went on a group field trip. I remember because I went into Express with Thea. And we were, it was like
randomly have a picture of Thea on the toilet.
Okay, well, Thea, I mean, hey, reach out to Sam for this
picture.
You never want this picture.
The things that you do in high school when you're like so like tightly knit with people, you take pictures of them on the toilet.
Yeah. Man, I'm glad I'm not in high school anymore. I enjoyed it, you know, but like, I don't know. I always think back to those times, you know, because
I think we can appreciate it now, seeing what other kids, how their high school experience was, and we were kind of like a family, even though like dysfunctional, we don't always like each other family, and we want to like get out of this place. Yeah, but it was a family. Like, it was really tight.
It was super tight because like every dance and everything. I feel like we all were always there together. Whereas because we had a graduating class of 98. Yeah. Most people have a graduate. I don't know. I can't really speak for most people. But
56 or 60 something of us started kindergarten together, including me.
Yeah. So half of the graduating class has known each other since kindergarten.
Since diapers.
Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. And it's like, and the fact that we all kind of came together and we still all hang out. Well, at least we know each other. We're cordial with each other and stuff. Whereas like, I asked some people who about their high school experiences, they don't want to talk about it. They're like, it was miserable. You know, there were bullies, this, and that. I don't remember any bullies in our high school.
No, but we also had a really good class.
Yeah.
We were, like, if you talk to our teachers, they'll tell you, because I was a nerd that was friends with teachers, and they will tell you, like, the year ahead of us, they were nasty to each other.
Wow.
Yeah, they're like, you guys are the nicest class we've had in years.
Aww.
But I think it's because we all knew each other for, like, by the time we got to high school, we'd already known each other for, was it 10 years?
Yeah. Yeah, and I came in ninth grade, and it felt like I'd been there forever. Like so many people, like even you, like you're like, yeah, you've been there since middle school. I'm like, nope, I came in high school.
I definitely thought you were like, I have like images of you in my mind in middle school. Like you were definitely there. You
Maybe in an alternate reality.
Yeah.
I was there in middle school. What?
You were the girl. So I'm from New Jersey and we had an elevator in my house.
I didn't have an elevator, but did I say that? Oh my goodness.
I don't know, but that is what I remember.
Oh my goodness. Well, my neighbor had an elevator in their house, so it's possible I said that. Yeah, I said my neighbor has an elevator in their house.
Yeah, I think it was like the telephone game. Like by the time it got to me, someone was like, Nicole had an elevator in her house. And
it was like not right. That's so funny. Yeah, my neighbor had an elevator in their house. Like, wow. but I am from New Jersey, and I probably did say that a lot because I still say that a lot.
We had some ridiculous houses though growing up. Like I remember going to Joanne's house, just been like.
I love Joanne's house.
You have her grotto.
My dream house. Is her Joanne, house. By the way, Joe. My dream house is like literally. I'm gonna find your parents' contractor and be like, design me like the same house because your house is gorgeous.
It was so gorgeous.
Yeah.
Probably, Are they still there?
Yeah, they're still there.
Can we go see? Is it Marianne? What's her mom's?
Yeah.
Is that her mom's name?
I think it is. Yeah. Definitely.
Now so her, funny. I've known since.
Yeah, she talked about you because I became really good friends with Joe, and we're still good friends. And like her mom has mentioned you, and she really liked you a lot.
It's so funny we're talking about. It's like this is apparently a very impactful part of our life.
Yeah,
we're almost 30.
We're about. So We're totally almost 30.
I'm holding on to that lie, by the way. That's my new. As long as my friends keep forgetting that I am the age that I am, I will just be the age they think I am, which is 28.
I have a lot. Well, that's the benefit of being around a bunch of artists. Like, there's so many different ages, and nobody cares.
Age doesn't matter. Like, you can hang out with a 7-year-old the same way you can hang out with a 17-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
If you're interested in the same thing, it's like that trumps everything.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Do you still have your Instagram, The Queen of Vacations?
So I just changed it to Samantha Everette Photography, and I still kind of regret it because I'm like, I don't need 2 photography pages.
Right, because you have the Shooting Beauty also, right?
Yeah, I have the Shooting Beauty, which was supposed to be photography, and then I just kind of forgot about the traveling page because we weren't traveling during the pandemic, like, at all. But, and then also, so, don't do this. This is a cautionary tale. When this was like 8 years ago, I paid for a marketing service to like send out messages to people to get followers. So they would just like and comment and all this. And so like, I don't have bots following me, but I have people that aren't really my people, you know? So that in the long run ends up hurting you. So even though I have 17,000 followers, which is like, you know, it's cool. It's not a crazy amount, but probably about 8,000 of those people really don't care. Yeah. So I'm just like, I kind of just want to get rid of that page altogether and just really focus on my new photography page. Mm-hmm. And I would love to just be off social media altogether. I know. That would be great. But it's just too hard in this time. Like social media drives everything these days. Yeah. Once I get fully booked though, I won't be up there. Mm-hmm. You won't see me. I will be a ghost. But so like, you were using the Queen of Vacations. It was originally your travel page. Yeah. And you've been everywhere. I haven't been everywhere, but it's on my list. Well, you've been a lot of places. So like, okay, name a couple places that you've been, maybe like your top 5 places. I always count the places I've been more than once. Usually it's my like top because I liked it enough to go back. Mm-hmm. So Cambodia, Bali, Thailand, Colombia, Brazil, Mexico, France. I would like to go back to Amsterdam. I don't love England. England, like it's the whole country. I don't like love London. England. I don't love London. I've been like 3 times. The 3rd time I finally like started to like it. South Africa. Love South Africa. I've been there 3 times. Wow. Yeah. For a month, the first time a month, the second time 2 weeks, the 3rd time. So when you travel to these places, like,
what did you just find like a really good deal or something and then you go?
That and I just spend way too much money.
Okay. So, okay, wait, before we get into your traveling, because I'm sure like people are like, well, how was she able to even do that? Because you worked for
Jessica Simpson.
Yes, you worked for Jessica. So, okay, let me actually go back, like go further back. So you and I, not only did we go to high school together, we went to college together. We went to NC State. We both were in the College of Textiles program, right?
Although I did not see you.
Yeah, because I was there. I was there for 2 years. I was studying apparel design, apparel management, and then I was just like, I don't like this. I don't like that I have to learn about polymers and all this other science stuff. I was like not into it. So
the artsy stuff.
Yeah, I just wanted the design part. And so I went and talked to my, what do you call that? Advisor. And I was like, I don't want to do this. So can I go into journalism or whatever? But you continued on and you did the program. And then you graduated, because I left NC State and I ended up going to Meredith a couple of years later. And I graduated from Meredith.
I do remember you leaving. I didn't know where you went.
Yeah. I went to Meredith. I studied French, which is so weird. But you stayed and you ended up getting a job with Jessica Simpson. So what was that about?
So it was either design shoes or design dishwashers or tires.
Oh, wow.
Those were my options.
Like job options?
Yeah. And I was just like, and the tires was at least in Atlanta, like outside of Atlanta, but with Michelin, but Bosch is in the middle of nowhere, North Carolina. And I was just like, absolutely not.
Yeah. And
then the guys that I would have been working with were like, absolutely not. And then walking around on the factory floor, like seeing all the black people stare at me like, oh, that black lady walking with all these old absolutely not. So it's like, there's nothing about this that I want any part of.
Goodness.
And so I got an internship. I had an internship at Coach my junior year of college. And then my senior year of college, I got an internship with Hawkblade Studios. Shout out to Guy Marshall. I can say his whole name because he's kind of fabulous. If you guys know Fry Boots, you know Fry Boots.
Yeah, I had a pair.
He launched the women's line for Fry Boots. So
wow.
Fry Boots were actually like utilitarian men's work boots before he turned it into a fashion line.
Oh, wow. I didn't actually know that.
Yeah. So he went from like Fat Farm to Fry Boots, and then he left New York, moved to North Carolina. He was super fine. He's probably still super fine. And so he came and talked to the students, and I was like, Mr. Super Fine, Guy Marshall, can you give me a job so I can stare at you all day? And he gave me an internship because he actually was opening an office in North Carolina while he was still satellite to New York and Korea. And that kind of started me. He got me a job at Baby Fat. I turned him down because they offered me $33,000 in New York, which...
Yeah, that won't even pay your... like
nothing.
Like your taxi bill.
That won't get my Metro card. Yeah, so ended up at a place called Me Too, and then ended up going from Me Too to Commuto Group, which was Jessica Simpson, and I stayed there for 8 years, and they treated me great. They doubled my salary the first year.
Wow.
I was there. Yeah.
So you got to actually work with Jessica Simpson? Did she ever come in?
Yeah, I've met her twice, or maybe I met her once. I've met her mom like 2 or 3 times. Her mom was like, she ran the whole business.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, her mom was amazing. But yeah, I didn't really have, because I was second tier. So you have first tier, second tier. First tier is your full price stores, your department stores like Nordstrom, Belk's, Dillard's. And I was second tier, which is Kohl's, Marshall's, Target, TJ Maxx, Nordstrom Rack, places like that. So by the time it gets to me, like, Jessica doesn't care anymore. So, but we also drove the majority of the business. So when I started, I was over maybe like $5 million in business. By the time I finished, it was $30 million.
Wow. You did that, or your team, or whatever?
My team. So the team was me and like one other person, and I was the assistant designer. And then he actually got poached to go to the Jessica first tier team. I stayed in the private label second tier team, and grew that team from like 2 people to 30 people.
Wow.
Yeah. And then they let me go.
Wait, they let you go?
They let me go. Well,
Why?
Well, Vince died. R.I.P. Uncle Vinny.
Oh.
Yeah, it was. We all cried. Like, it was standing room only at his funeral, and he actually invited the employees. Like, we went. Like,
Wow.
Jessica was there. Tommy Hilfiger carried his casket down the aisle.
Oh,
like,
that's so sweet.
Yeah. But yeah, he passed away. His adult kids didn't want the business. His younger kids were too young to take over the business. So DSW bought it, and then when they bought it, it was just like, ugh. Yeah. So I actually got out before the deal went through, which was a godsend because I got 8 years of severance, and people that were there after got no severance. They said, it's a new business. Like, I'm talking people with 20 years in the business, $1 million salary. So you're talking like millions in severance that they're just like, no, we don't have to pay you anything. Legally, we don't owe you anything.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So you were really lucky that they let
really
you go then.
Lucky. Yeah. And I moved back to North Carolina and started a whole new life.
So when you were working, because I remember you said that you lived in China a lot, right? So, because how much time did you spend in China? It was like New York and China, right?
Yeah. So the first 2 years of my career was 6 months home, 6 months in China. So 1 month on, 1 month off, back and forth for 2 years straight. And then when I went to Commuter Group, it started as like 3 weeks out and then 7 weeks, or 3 weeks gone and then 5 weeks home, 3 weeks gone, 5 weeks home. And then it got shorter and shorter. So it'd be 2 weeks gone, 6 weeks home, and then 1 week gone, 7 weeks home. But it was always 6 times a year. So every other month.
Wow.
And then in between that, I would go to LA and sometimes London or Montreal.
Good gosh.
Yeah. So 1 year I spent 200 hours in the air.
Oh my goodness. So are you fluent in Mandarin? No, but you could say some phrases because I saw something on your one of your social media. I think it was probably Instagram. And you're like,
wait, say
it again. Say it again. Do it again.
I just said, I speak Chinese.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Because my niece studied Chinese for like a little while. I don't know if she knows anything still, but well, Mandarin, I should be specific because there's like several languages in Chinese, right?
Yeah. I also speak Mandarin, which I said actually, Putonghua is not Chinese. It's actually Chinese for Mandarin. Because Chinese is it Zhonghua? I don't remember the word for Chinese, so I don't actually, I didn't speak it, so I never learned the word for it.
Yeah. Well, that's still cool that you got to spend so much time in China. And
it's probably a total like 5 years if you lump it all together.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Did you have your own apartment over there?
I did. I loved it. It was beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I had about 1,200 square feet to myself, penthouse. Yeah, washer, dryer, maid, 2 bedrooms, bathroom. It was so great. Walking distance from my job, swimming pool, gym. I loved it.
Wow.
I cried when they told me I had to come home. I cried for a week straight. Anytime someone, we heard you're leaving. Don't ask me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and they let me go a month after I got back home. I was like in the office, like, what am I supposed to be doing? What? And then they're like, you can go. Actually,
so you had like clothes and everything in your China apartment.
I had so many clothes. There was nothing for me to do, so I was like in H&M every other day, just buying shit.
Wow,
it was so bad. Or like I go to Hong Kong and like just go shopping.
I've always wanted to go to Hong Kong. That's so cool.
I've been there like 20 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
What would you like? For travelers who want to go to China, what would you suggest or
not be American? Because I don't think you can.
So how did you get away with it? Because it was just too long ago?
It was a long time ago. Well, any pre-pandemic, you're fine, but our government just fucked us basically.
Yeah.
I had a work visa, so the visas were 10 years. It's like once I get a visa, I could just go. And once you have a visa, nobody questions you why you're going because you have your visa. But it's just getting the visa that's the issue. So somebody has to invite you, write a letter to, the government. You have to put that in with your visa application and yada, yada, yada.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was
it's not an easy visa. It's not just like go drop your passport off and get a stamp and then that's it. It's like you actually have to have a reason to go there. You have to prove it. They review your documents and then you get a visa or you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's such a cool experience to have, to say like practically that you lived in China for 5 years in a lump. You know what I'm saying? If you lumped it all together.
Yeah.
That's
if
really
it was a
awesome.
little bit later, like I could actually call, they're all asleep. I'm like, I could call somebody and be like, hey, I want a podcast. Say something.
And they'd be like, whatever, I don't even want to be like rude or racist. But
I don't want to be rude or racist. Yeah, I don't think you should be rude or racist.
Yeah, let me not, because as an actor, we just play around and say shit. I don't want to offend anybody. So,
you're like, do you know what the fuck you just?
I know. Totally.
You think you're just making up sounds, and you're actually like your mother's fucking a goat.
Oh my god. Right, so that's a cautionary tale. Don't make weird noises if you're trying to like pretend to say something in a different language, because you never know what you're saying.
I do have a friend who used to travel with, he's been to China. He was maybe like 10 years older than me, so he's been to China even way more than I had. And he would call me at the hotel when we'd be over there, and he just like, say just the most random things like, did you find it at house? And I'll be like, what? And he just like keep talking. And this was before I really spoke Chinese, like before I lived there and took lessons every single day. And so I was just like, I don't understand you. This English, you have to speak English. And then he would finally be like, it's Carlos. Hey. I'm like, oh my God. Like, he would totally have me. Like, I would totally think that he was actually a Chinese person.
Wow, that's awesome.
And he wasn't. Yeah.
Well, that's just still really cool. I mean, you lived in China, you worked for Jessica Simpson, and then you left the company, and then you just were like, I'm going to travel the world, right? Is that what you did?
That's what I did until I got these really crazy raging headaches, and then I had to stop after like 3 months of traveling.
Why? Because it was just changing time zones and stuff?
No.
What was going on? I mean, if you want to talk about it.
So silly.
What?
I got my hair braided in South Africa, and there are different weights for hair. I didn't know this. So I brought my hair with me to South Africa the first 2 times I got it braided. Then I ran out, and then they braided it the last time using hair that I sourced from there, which was a lower quality, heavier hair.
Oh, no.
And then I got it braided down to my knees. And then they put way too much in it, because I have a lot of hair, and then when you try to add extensions, if you don't know what you're doing, you can add so much hair to my head.
Oh, wow.
It's just, I have a big head with a lot of hair. And so they put way too much hair, and then I was going swimming, and so it just like, my neck got jacked up.
Oh, no.
And the pain just radiated from here, and like, so yeah, I was down for about a year. I couldn't work, I couldn't do anything. Yeah,
Just
I couldn't
from the
concentrate.
headaches.
Like,
Yeah.
I tried to do jury. Well, I didn't try to do jury duty. They tried to get me to do jury duty, and I was like, I can't see straight, think straight. Like, I can't follow conversations. Like, I basically need an eye patch half the time. I never wore one because it didn't really help that much.
Mm-hmm.
If it felt that bad, I would literally just go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, I napped my way through 2019.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
That's wild.
I started to feel a little bit better, and I was going to start traveling again. And then the panini.
Yeah. The panini. Right. Totally.
Yeah.
We know what happened after that.
Yeah.
Wow. So, well,
It was actually good, though. I was hemorrhaging money.
Wow.
Just doing all the things I ever wanted to do.
you were having a good time. Were you photographing everything while you were there too? Because you
I
had
kinda
amazing
was,
photos.
Yeah, I was. I only hired a photographer once, and that was in the Philippines, because I had to get like the flowy dress picture.
Yeah.
That everybody has one that was a travel influencer between 2018 and now.
Yeah.
But other than that, I either took the pictures myself or just asked a stranger, this is going to be stereotypical and rude, but if you need pictures on vacation, ask an Asian person.
Okay. All right. Why? Because they'll just be like, okay.
No, well, stereotypically, and I say this having lived in China and traveled all over Asia, they love pictures. If you are not Asian, because you'll blend in, obviously, if you're Asian. But if you're not Asian and you travel to some place like China, and the more rural you get, because like in the big cities, Shanghai, Beijing, Hong Kong, it's not going to happen because they see tons of people from all over the world. But if you go to a small town where they don't see anybody that doesn't look like them, you're going to get hounded for pictures. They're like,
Wow.
"Can I get a picture?" And they will hand you their baby. Like,
wow.
take a picture with the weird person, the Lao Wai, which means like outsider.
Oh, wow.
Like, take a picture with Lao Wai.
And so you just are in so many Asian people's homes, probably and framed.
So many Facebook pages.
And mantles. Like a framed picture of Samantha with like their baby.
Beyonce. They definitely thought it was Beyonce one time. And I was like, oh, this is great. Sure. Yeah.
You're like, yeah, sure.
Put Rihanna while you're at it.
Put me in the Ritz-Carlton while you're at it.
I did stay in some nice hotels. That was one of the perks of work and travel. I was definitely spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't miss that life because I love the life that I have now, but that was like, it was like lamb chops every single night.
Wow. That's how it is when you're like working as a working actor and they fly you to set and stuff. They take care of all that. They give you per diem and and they put you up in a nice...
You don't have the life.
Yeah.
For like, not having the life is so nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't have to do a dish.
You're just in a nice hotel.
Bed.
Yeah.
Like
they clean it for you.
And it's like magic. Like bing.
Yeah. It's pretty nice to work and travel. But wow, I mean, like I feel like you have so many experiences. And so then you left or you stopped because you were massive headaches from the hair extensions.
Yeah.
And then I feel like that's like a skit, you know?
It's so...
I got my hair braided in South Africa and have headaches for the next 10 years.
And what's crazy is it took me $5,000 in medical bills to figure out that it was my braids.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you are uninsured, get travel insurance and just, instead of whatever $200 you would spend at the doctor, just buy a flight, go somewhere that you know has reputable doctors and just do it there.
Oh.
So I got my MRI done in Grand Cayman.
Oh, yeah, I've been there. I used to go a lot, actually.
Yeah, so Grand Cayman, fantabulous doctors because it's a banking island. They're all super duper rich. So went there to make sure that like I didn't have a brain tumor because I'm like, I've had a headache for a year. Like I want to make sure I'm not dying. And the doctor looked at me after like doing the MRI and he was like, you're fine. Just like relax, change your lifestyle. I was like, I don't work. I sit on the beach all day. How much more relaxed am I supposed to be, sir? Like, that is not the answer. But thank you for telling me I'm not dying and I can expense this $800 MRI.
Yeah.
And I don't have to pay. So I spent $5,000, but I got all of that money back through travel insurance. Mm-hmm. But if I had done all of that, so I got my CAT scan and x-rays done in Colombia and my eye scan and like I thought it was a sinus infection at first, so got all that done in Colombia. Had to get more x-rays done in Brazil, so I went from South Africa to Jamaica. Jamaica is when I got the headaches. Stayed in Jamaica for a month and then they would come and go, and then I went to Brazil, stayed there for about a month and they would come and go. Went to Colombia for a week and then went to Brazil for a month. And I literally got a headache that, it wasn't that it was so much worse than all the other ones, but I was just over it. Mm-hmm. And so I had a friend that worked for the airlines and I called him and I was like, I'm on the way to the airport. I don't have a flight. I need one. And he's like, I'm at the doctor. I can't do it. I was like, you have 45 minutes to get to your computer and book me a flight.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
So I was just so over it. It was like 3 months of just being in pain and he booked me a flight and I was home and I stayed in Atlanta for the first month. And my brother's, because I was like, I still don't have a job. I don't have any place to live because I got rid of everything to travel. So I was like, I'll just like go see my friends and family. I can't work because I have a headache every day. So did that for a little while, just bounced around and visited people. I went up to Baltimore. My friend had a baby, stayed with the baby for the first month. So like this baby like loves me so much. He's 3 years old. He doesn't know why he loves me so much. It's like, you don't know that you spent the first month of your life with me.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Like mom was still like click working. Like you were just with me during the daytime. Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Wow. So like you just took a break from that. So what made the transition into photography?
I had all these pictures from traveling, and as much as I was taking pictures of myself, I still was taking pictures of just things that I saw, and I love people, so I would just take pictures of people that I saw. And I started to go through and realize that I had a collection, and I couldn't work for anybody. I made stupid money in New York. Nobody's paying me that amount of money in North Carolina. Like, it's just, unless I work for myself, like, it's just not going to happen at a job unless I'm a tenure professor at Duke, you know?
Yeah.
Which would take me another 30 years to get to.
Right.
Because I'm only 28.
Yeah, we're going to go with that.
So I had a mentor, one of my footwear mentors, he always encouraged me to just diversify, and I never listened to him. I was like, but shoes is great. But I still would, as much as I didn't take heed to what he said, I would still ask him shit. And so I just was talking to him one day randomly. I don't even know why we were talking, but I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And he was like, why don't you take pictures of other people, stupid? He's like, you have all these great pictures of yourself. You can take pictures of other people. And I was like, oh, I could actually do that.
Yeah.
And I started reaching out to people in the community. I started volunteering different events. So Black Farmers Market was like a big like help, push, exposure, all that. Mm-hmm. They were great. It was a way to be outside in the community, doing something important for an important cause safely during the pandemic. And it just got me in front of a lot of people. I met a lot of people that I'm still really good friends with 3 years later. So that really helped. And then just kind of, I started getting shows, which I don't know how the hell that happened.
Because you're good. That's how it happened.
Yeah, but you know,
and word of mouth, like people are like, oh, I work with this,
community is everything. Like everything I've gotten is because of community. Like you can be the most talented person in the world, but if you have no people skills,
yeah, because networking and whatnot.
Networking is so important. People give opportunities and work with people that they like.
Yeah,
it's just facts.
Yeah, that's like a good lesson for people who are doing it on their own and aren't out there networking.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Nothing's ever done on your own. Like everything you do is because you push. Like nobody else is gonna push your stuff for you or push your business forward. But you always need like a hand reaching down or sideways to like help you. But if they're not gonna drag dead weight, right?
Yeah.
Like you still have to climb and help yourself. But there is somebody that will help give you that boost, which is how I got as far as I've gotten so far.
Yeah. So like, would you give what advice would you give to people who are interested in like becoming photographers and stuff? Or would you give advice?
I would. I have lots of advice. Don't spend a lot of money. Photography can be very, very expensive. Very. Do what you can with what you got. Buy used gear. Shoot everything. Shoot your friends and family. Like, even if they don't like it, just do it. Because they'll forgive you. But, yeah, and just, like, tell everybody what you do. Like, if you don't tell people, they won't know. Like, a lot of jobs I get, it's because my mom literally tells my daughter does pictures. It's like, this person needs it. Like, I got a $2,000 gig at Duke.
Wow.
Because my mom did this lady's taxes and was like, my daughter does pictures. And she was like, oh, I have a symposium coming up at what's that G building? What's that building? That new arts building?
I don't know.
It's not the Ganza Ward. It's not, that's a hotel in New York. Not the Guggenheim. Also in New York.
Glanville? I don't know why I'm thinking something Ville.
No, it's going to come to me in like 37 minutes and then it's not going to whatever. But yeah, at their new arts building. And so, yeah, just tell everybody what you do. Don't be ashamed or not ashamed, but shy. Don't be shy. Like you might think, oh, I'm bothering people or I'm annoying people. Like, no, you're not.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's how it is with any kind of arts field. Like, you want people to know what you're doing, and yeah, I mean, You're great. I see you everywhere, and you've done a lot for me. What's that? Was that like a
That was a horn.
Oh my gosh, was that like a ice cream truck that just went by? Yeah, I mean, you've done a lot for me, and yeah, I mean, you're fantastic. You clearly, like Mary had said, like you were the one walking around. Oh, drink your champagne. You were the one walking around with your art book, and you're still walking around with your art book. You know?
Yeah.
So it's really cool that.
Yeah, I had pottery class this morning.
There you go. Did you really?
I did.
Oh my goodness, that's so fun.
I am an old white lady at heart.
I used to take pottery too. It's fun. It's like relaxing because you get to do the like.
I'm not doing the wheel.
Oh really?
That's not relaxing for me.
Oh, I love the wheel.
I'm like, ah!
So wait, how are you doing it then?
I'm hand building. I'm much more a hand.
So you mold it with your hands.
Yeah, so
wow.
I'm doing coils now because I like slab, but slab just it's so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I actually want to feel like I'm sculpting the pottery, so it's similar to the wheel. It's just way slower. But I'm also making like a 5-gallon bowl, which I could not. It's gonna take 2 whole containers of clay just to make one bowl.
Wow.
Which I wouldn't be able to do on the wheel. It'd just be like too much clay on the wheel, and it will also be too thin. I wouldn't be able to like tote it around the garden. If something falls on it, it's done.
Yeah.
So I need it to be like
real sturdy.
Yeah. And
wow.
I also just need to go buy pots at Home Goods because it's expensive.
Yeah, they are. And I've looked at pots, like the big clay pots, and they are very expensive.
No, I mean to make them, they're
just as expensive to make as they are to buy.
Yeah.
So you might as well just buy it.
Just buy it.
Wow.
So I'm more so doing it just to have the experience versus I thought I was doing it to like save money. It's nothing handmade ever saves money.
Yeah.
Including like gardening. Like gardening.
Yeah.
The first 5 years does not save you any money.
No, not at all. Not like literally not at all.
The food tastes great, but it does not save you any money.
No. You start saving money once you're like a few years in.
And you have all the materials.
Yeah, all the seeds and the soil. Yeah, all that. Yeah. But yeah. Well, I think we could probably talk for hours about just life and art. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. But I really appreciate you coming on and chatting with me. If you would please go to my website, it's nicole-burgess.com. I've got links to a variety of different products. I've got links to seeds. I've got links to my book. And then you can check out my Shop My page, which has links to different edits that I've curated for just different products and different things. Like if you're interested in books, I have recommended books. If you're interested in gardening supplies and gardening products, I have that there. And as well, please check out Samantha and all of her social media and her websites. If you would please give your handle and your websites.
So the Shooting Beauty, so the THE Shooting Beauty, across everything. Yeah, and then if you Google my full name, Samantha Everette, don't forget the EVERETTE. And I am like so public. It's kind of scary.
You have a website too, right?
I do, which is just my name.com.
So SamanthaEverette.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, if you are looking for a photographer, please check her out. She's amazing. Yeah. Like we were talking about or discussing earlier in the episode, she did my wedding photos and they came out phenomenal. And I'm going to buy a book and all the framed photos. And I'm so excited. So, but yeah, once again, thank you for joining me and thank you for joining me. And we'll see you in the next episode.